More. Guns N' Roses has spent the past 15 months on tour playing to sell-out crowds and being involved in more than their fair share of controversy. For starters, the band had a little trouble with punctuality, sometimes showing up 2 hours late for a concert. Axl says it took him a while to get back into the grind of touring.
It was a whole change of life. You know, realizing, okay, now we're out on tour, haven't toured, been sitting on my ass at home or whatever. I've been out, you know, running around and rocking out, and had to basically like change my whole life in order to be able to keep doing this. And so, you know, you'd do a show and then you'd be shot, you know, where you'd be kind of like shot for 3 weeks, but no, you got a show tomorrow. So then it'd take like all these hours of preparation, where now it doesn't take me near as long to be ready for a show.
During the course of the tour, Axl has been involved in heavy-duty psychotherapy in an attempt to deal with the sexual abuse he suffered as a child, among other problems.
Last year, I was doing extensive emotional work on myself. So when I'd go out to do a show, it'd be, you know, if something, I was, you know, uncovering something in my unconscious mind or my mind or whatever, and kind of experiencing it, it'd be really hard to go out and do the show, where that took like a year to get things under control. I'd come off stage and either get on the phone or have the person fly out personally and do 4 or 5 hours right after stage. And, you know, where like someone goes like once a week to like work out their problems for like a half hour, an hour, and I was doing 4 or 5 hours a day, you know, like every day.
Is it helping?
Me at the show tonight, it seems to be fine, and I'm in a good mood now.
Do you feel like your fans sort of are understanding you better or take your problems seriously?
I think some people are understanding, but, you know, a lot of people, you know, they want what they want, even if they understand. It's like, you know, if there's a problem on stage and you have to stop the show, they don't really care. At that point, you know, they're still upset because they didn't get satiated. They came to see something, and if, you know, there was technical difficulties in Montreal and we had to leave, and the crowd was very upset about that, you know, and they didn't really like take the time to like think about what went wrong for us. You know, that's kind of hard to take sometimes, and I don't feel responsible for that.
The ensuing riot in Montreal started after Axl walked off stage and stopped the concert because of a problem with their PA system. Axl says they've been having technical problems the whole tour, and it was damaging his voice.
So basically, I was having to like sing over 150 kilowatts of sound or something. I didn't do major damage to my vocal cords, but I did enough that if I sang any more under those conditions, I wouldn't be singing. So in order to hear myself, to see if I'm on key and tell how loud or how hard I need to push to sing the song properly, I'd have to try to sing over the PA, which was impossible.
All we need is just a little patience and a really good monitor man.
After the riot in Montreal, the crew was able to fix the PA problem, but troubles aside, Axl feels like Guns N' Roses pulled off a major feat by putting together a stadium tour with their old friends Metallica.
One of the big things I learned was that everybody had wanted this tour so bad and worked so hard to make it, to be able to do this tour, you know, Metallica through their touring and through our touring, to be able to do a stadium tour together, that we thought that when we got here, it'd just be perfect, it'd be so cool. Well, it kind of turned out to be that, wait a minute, this is so cool that why shouldn't this be the hardest thing we've ever done?
The always interesting Mr. long-awaited arrival in court, Rose was told he would be allowed to tour with Metallica this summer on $100,000 bond, as long as he didn't get into any further legal trouble anywhere. It was an anticlimactic end to a mini-drama that began on Sunday when Rose was arrested at New York's JFK International Airport after disembarking from a Concorde flight from Europe, where he'd been vacationing with his girlfriend, model Stephanie Seymour. However, although Rose was set loose by the St. Louis judge, he was also told to be back in town for a trial on October 13th, and while in court, he was also served with civil lawsuits by concertgoers who claimed they'd been injured during last summer's riot. Will all this legal turmoil be weighing on Rose's mind when the Guns N' Metallica tour gets underway in Washington, D.C. this Friday night? We asked Rose's partner, guitarist Slash, and here's what he had to tell us.
Axel's fine. I talked to him yesterday. He's dealing with the logistics of this guy in St. Louis, and I don't want to say anything that's gonna put the band in a weird position, but the guy's asshole.
Monitor to make sure that we're not doing anything bad. That concludes our backstage key room tour of the Guns N' Roses show.
That's only for one chorus of a song, and we play about 3.5 hours. So, you see, it's a lot of hard work. This is Duff McKagan for MTV, signing out.
Guns N' Roses.
I pick it up and I'm like, what? And he goes, that's Slash, it's Jeff. You know, I'm like, oh, Jeff who? You know, and it was Jeff Beck, and I was floored. I was like, okay. This is my all-time favorite guitar player. Yeah. Calling me up to ask him about the song and what the schedule was going to be, and I was like, well, you can play whatever you want. You don't even care if you don't even learn it. Just come out there, it would be great.
It was really cool because, you know, Jeff Beck was here last night in the bar downstairs in the hotel, and we said, hey, you want to come upstairs and learn the song? He never really listened to it, you know, and he came upstairs, and Duff, after a couple cocktails, was teaching him how to play it on the guitar, and it was like teaching Jeff Beck how to play a Guns N' Roses song. And that was something new and different.
I just thought to myself, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, a year ago, if I would have seen myself showing Jeff Beck a song on the guitar, you know, people would have thought I was nuts.
Jeff Beck, Duff, and I are in the room, and Duff soloing. Perfect. Duff, let him do it, you know.
Gilby takes everything, you know, he's so mellow about everything, and he's such a good player, and he's very confident. Yeah. So, you know, Gilby, what does Gilby think of this whole thing? He's like, cool, can I have a sandwich? You know? Hi, Jeff. See ya.
I have to admit that the amount of pressure going into this pay-per-view thing is a little bit more than the average show. But all you can do is just like walk out there and you know, they start playing.
I've been waiting a long time to get to actually play live with them. And so they called me a week or so ago and said, come to Paris and play it.
I mean, it's kind of a great position to be in, to be able to ask, you know, people like that, and they go, yeah, and they're into it. You know, they did it because they want to jam, you know.
Cash-strapped concert goer to do? Spend wisely. In the area of stadium shows, for example, always the most expensive concert proposition, hard rock fans won't go wrong funking down their money on what promises to be one of the summer's biggest tours, a roof-raising bill pairing two major acts, Metallica and Guns N' Roses.
It's just, there was some kind of friendship and some kind of sharing of some attitudes and some things that just happened, you know.
This is something very Spinal Tap about this whole thing.
Tell us about this song.
You Could Be Mine, when we were at SIR Studios rehearsing in LA, doing pre-production for Appetite, that was one of the songs that was going to be on Appetite, and we didn't have enough room, and we hadn't really finished it, you know, in time for putting it on the album. So it was sat on the back burner until we did Use Your Illusion.
It certainly is going to be a big concert season, especially in giant stadiums such as this one, where people are filing in right now to catch Jeff this summer.
Are you ready?
Summer touring makes you sweat.
It's going to be a summer with all kinds of music making the rounds, and once again, as the recession drags on, very little money for most people to spend on hearing it. So what's a cash-strapped concert goer to do? Spend wisely. In the area of stadium shows, for example, always the most expensive concert proposition, hard rock fans won't go wrong funking down their money on what promises to be one of the summer's biggest tours, a roof-raising bill pairing two major acts, Metallica and Guns N' Roses.
It's just, there was some kind of friendship and some kind of sharing of some attitudes and some things that just happened, you know.
This is something very Spinal Tap about this whole thing. It feels great. You know, we think we got all the pieces in the right place, and we
morale is really high.
Guns N' Roses, past, present, and future, and we're kicking off a half hour of live Guns N' Roses performances. And right now we're about to play Paradise City, filmed at the Ritz. You remember the show at the Ritz?
Which one?
The one that we filmed the show.
Oh, that
we had the big show that played on MTV, the ones with all the beeps in it.
I remember, yeah.
You remember any of the shows, Doc?
Yeah, just shut up.
Okay, right now here is Paradise City, live at the Ritz with Guns N' Roses. Videos right now. Since you played so many live shows, I mean, you just got back from Europe and now you're embarking on this whole big thing with Metallica. Are there any shows that really stand out in your mind that you always remember? Good or bad?
The ones I remember stand out. No, Wembley Stadium in London always stands out. We played there like 3 times. The Queen thing, and Giant Stadium where we did Paradise City.
I remember the New Year's Eve in 1992, which was in Miami?
Oh, Miami, yeah, that was insane.
Well, this is a live performance taken from that show. Here's You Could Be Mine from Miami, New Year's Eve 92.
All right.
Be Mine playing live in Miami on New Year's Eve. And we're about to play another Guns N' Roses live video. But, I mean, there's got to be some real quick, interesting stories about playing live with this band.
Oh, yeah, everything's interesting. Every day it's a new thing. In Germany one time we had to play in a thunderstorm, like the worst thunderstorm we had in 20 years in Germany. And we all were sitting out there watching all the fans and stuff, and they're soaked and everything, and we're dry because we have a roof. So as Axl takes one look at him, steps out, gets soaked, made all of us step out, get soaked. Matt came up from his drum stage, got soaked. Dizzy poured a beer over his head, of course, got soaked. Yeah, every day it's an adventure, something new.
Well, right now, this is one taken live from Wembley, and they played this during the 1991 MTV Video Music Awards. And I remember kept on watching this because that was like one of the first times everybody in America was going to see Gilby.
But he wasn't there.
And we kept on saying, "Where's Gilby?" And the camera just kept on missing.
I didn't know they were filming that song.
Rose Bowl, you got to be pretty neat because, yeah, I mean, living in California, and a lot of people have always... Did you grow up in L.A.? Or?
Well, Laguna Beach, actually.
So you've always known the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, the Rose Bowl.
I mean, starting off in bands, I know that a lot of people probably grew up saying, "God, I'd like to play the Forum one day," or the, you know, or the San Diego Sports Arena, stuff like that. But to play the Rose Bowl,
it's pretty wild.
I mean, it's big,
I don't think not that many people play there, you know, because the people in Pasadena are pretty old, and they like to keep the volume down. I think.
My mom lives in Pasadena.
Oh, I'm sorry.
See, no.
So they, I think we had a hard time getting it to, you know, the facility to play, but I'm glad that we did because we can get like, I don't know how many, 120,000 or something in there.
It's a real big play.
Yeah.
And it sold out the day, like we just said, the tickets went on sale, and they sold out amazing.
Or something, 39 minutes gone.
So if the tickets are still available at the show that's going to be coming by your neighborhood, definitely you want to get the tickets. We're going to be talking to Matt a little bit more, and right now let's play a video from Metallica. Here is The Unforgiven. Bobby Clark of Guns N' Roses, and you recently got to play the Concert for Life, big show in England, and I know that you're a huge Queen fan.
Huge Queen fan. I've loved them from early 70s.
We used to do Queen songs on stage a long time.
Didn't we? A lot of times, yes.
It's been a real thrill for you to get up and...
Oh yeah, to play with them, and with the whole thing was just, it was awesome. Something I'd never ever dreamed that we would do.
No, I mean, all your dreams are coming true, aren't they?
Everything.
See what can happen in America. See what can happen in America.
Don't burst my bubble, all right?
It's just downhill from here, Gilbert.
Yes, I know.
No, I'm kidding. Here's Knocking on Heaven's Door, Guns N' Roses, live at the Concert for Life. FK in Washington, D.C., and right here, Matt Sorum, drummer of Guns N' Roses. And I want to remind you that at 9 o'clock tonight, Guns N' Roses, past, present, and future. And what do you think is the future of Guns N' Roses? I mean, that could be a coin toss. I mean, it's hard to say.
The future is very hard to say. We've got this tour going on right now, and we're going to, you know, probably go out again in January, do Japan, South America, Australia. You know, you never know what's going to happen with this band. I wake up in the morning, turn on MTV, and, you know, I find out.
Trying to see what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, or the radio, I turn that on, and, you know, Axl's in jail. Oh, wow.
Now, the one thing, talking about that, I know that you probably hear some, like, weird stories, many of them that are based on complete nothing. Mm-hmm. I mean, are there any real bizarre stories you've heard about yourself or the band that were just completely preposterous?
Where do I start?
You know? Any that you heard today?
Today. I haven't watched TV today or the news or anything, so I've just been hanging out in my own little realm.
You got to hear wild stories all the time.
Yeah, mainly about Slash and Axl. They're the guys, you know. Me and Duff and Gilby, we kind of hang back.
We need to start some rumors about Matt then. Well. So as soon as you leave, we'll say, "Hey, did you hear what Matt was doing when he left?" Anyways, we're going to be back talking to Matt Sorum and hanging out here at RFK, Washington, D.C., part of the biggest show ever that I can possibly imagine. Guns N' Roses, Metallica, and of course Faith No More. Stick around. We'll be here.